Hi everyone. Today we are exploring deeper into the world of CSS Units, the building block of awesome web design. In this age of smartphones, tablets, and the big desktop screens, the CSS Units are the superheroes of the internet. So they are what we use to make sure everything on a web page looks right, no matter what are the devices you are using. Think of them as the language we speak to tell a website how to look and feel. Now let's take a closer look at what we'll be covering in today's session. The importance of CSS units. Here we will explore what are the CSS units, why CSS units are crucial for crafting and compelling web experiences, how they impact on user experience. The second topic is common CSS units. In here we will explore into the different types of CSS units available, and from absolute and relative units to font-relative units and layout units like FR and Auto. Third one is best practices for unit selection. Here we will discuss the best practices for choosing the CSS units for your projects. The fourth one is performance optimization tips. In here we will discuss some valuable tips for optimizing the performance when using CSS units. Alright, let's explore into the world of CSS units. Imagine you are building a house. For that, you need right tools and materials to ensure that it stands tall and looks incredible. Think of CSS units are your toolkit for building stunning websites. So, what do we mean by CSS units? Picture them as the magic ingredients that give your website to unique flavor. From determine the size and layout of the elements, and ensuring everything looks just right on different devices. The CSS units are the hidden heroes behind every pixel perfect web page. The CSS units play a crucial role in determining the layout, sizing, and responsiveness of the web pages. They directly impact how elements are displayed across different devices and sizes. The proper selection of these units ensure the consistency, accessibility, and user experience. Now tell me why CSS units are so important. Imagine that browsing a website on your phone. In that case, the list is too small and the images are squeezed together. It's not a great experience, right? So the CSS units ensure that your website looks fantastic and works seamlessly across every devices from smartphones to desktop. Highlight the impact of CSS units on user experience and page load times. They are the secret source bringing your web designs to life, delivering the flawless of user experience every time. However, incorrectly chosen units lead to layout inconsistencies and slower page rendering. Now let's explore to the different categories of common CSS units. Here, the first one is absolute length units. These units provide fixed measurements and include the pixel, centimeters, inches, millimeters, and points. The second one is relative units. It's always based on the size of elements of the other elements, and it includes percentages, viewport width, viewport height, and EM and REM unit. Font relative units. These units are specifically related to typography, and it include EX and CH units. And grid and flex layout units are essential for creating flexible grid and flexbox layout. And it includes the units FAR and Auto. These categories offer different ways to size and position the elements on a web page, and providing the flexibility and adaptability. Let's talk about the absolute length unit. When we talk about the absolute units, we only talk about the pixel. The other units are used for printed materials, and the pixel is used for digital media. The pixels are the fixed units that offer precise control over the element size on the page. The advantages of pixels are easy to understand and implement, suitable for fixed layouts. Disadvantages are lack of scalability like that. Now let's shift our focus to the relative units, which offer flexibility and adaptability in web design. We will explore four main types of relative units. The first one is percentages. The second one is viewport width and viewport height. Third one is EM, and fourth one is strength. We will explore into each of these units, exploring their benefits and best practices for implementation in the web design. Let's start our exploration of relative units with percentages. The percentages are the versatile unit of measurements that's relative to the size of the parent elements, and these are the advantages of the percentage. It's relative to the parent container. The percentages make it easy to create fluid layouts that adapt to different screen sizes by basing size on parent element, ensure consistency and responsiveness across all devices. The disadvantages are limited control. While percentages offer flexibility, they can sometimes be challenging to managing complex layout. Achieving precise control over element sizes and position may require additional effort and fine-tuning. Next up, we have the viewport units. The viewport units represented by VW represent the viewport width and VH represent the viewport height. These units unique as they are relative to the size of the browser viewport rather than any parent element. Let's talk about the viewport width. Viewport width units are percentage of the browser's Windows width. They are incredibly handy by creating full screen layouts and components that scale seamlessly with the width of the browser window. The next one is viewport height. Viewport height units are similar percentage of the browser window's height. They are perfect, ensuring components adjust dynamically to the height of the viewport, allowing to fluid and responsive design. Now moving to the EM units. These are relative to the font size of the parent elements. Here, the first point we need to consider on EM units are it's relative to the font size. The EM units are based on the font size of the parent elements. This means that one EM is equal to the font size of the parent element. And the second point is typography. When we focus, the EM units are commonly used for defining typography related properties such as font size, line height, and spacing. Third point is flexible and scalable. Because the EM units are relative to the parent elements, they offer flexibility and scalability, making them ideal for creating responsive typography that adjusts smoothly to different screen sizes. Now let's talk about the unlike EM units, which are relative to the font size of the root element. REM units are relative to the font size of the root elements, typically the HTML element. Here also there are some points we need to keep in mind about the REM. It's a root element based. It means REM units are based on the font size of the root elements, providing a consistent baseline for sizing throughout the document, and predictable and consistent because REM units are not affected by changes in nested elements font sizes. They offer a more predictable and consistent layout, especially in complex nested structures. Simplified maintenance. The REM units simply maintains by providing a consistent reference point for sizing, reducing the need for adjustments across different parts of the document. The REM units are a valuable addition to your toolkit, offering a predictable and consistency in sizing. Now let's illustrate the difference between the EM and REM units with a simple example. In here you can see first let's see the EM unit. The EM unit is based on relative to the font size of the parent element. Here you can see the font size of the HTML tag is given as the 10 pixel, and then body content font size is relative to the HTML element. Then its font size is 14 pixel. Then we talked about the REM. Here you can see always REM unit is relative to the root elements. It means the HTML elements. Here you can see all the font sizes are relative to the root elements. Here font size is 1.4 rem is equal to the 14 pixel, and here 1.2 rem is equal to the 12 pixel. Let's compare the pixel and rems, the two popular CSS units for sizing elements on a website. Here first let's see pixel. The scalability of the pixel. The pixels have fixed size, which means they don't scale well across different screen sizes. And the consistency, they may result in inconsistent layout on devices with different pixel densities. The maintenance, you have to adjust them for each screen sizes and resolutions, which can be a hassle. The accessibility, because the pixels are fixed, they might make it difficult for users to adjust the text size for better readability. The cross-browser support is widely supported for cross browsers. The REM unit, the scalability of REM units, the REM are relative to the root font size, so they scale nicely for responsive design. And the consistency is they provide a consistent layout regardless of font size changes, which is great for maintenance design integrity. For maintenance, the REM simply maintains, especially in complex layout, because they adapt automatically. The accessibility of the REM units are the user can adjust text size without affecting the layout, which improves the accessibility. And the cross-browser support is its support while generally well supported. Older browsers may require fallbacks. Let's move to the font relative units. The font relative units offer a unique way to size elements based on font characteristic, enhancing typography focused design. The first unit is EX. The EX is useful for maintaining vertical rhythm and proportion in typography focused design. The EX units are particularly useful for maintaining the vertical rhythm in proportion in typography focused design, as they offer consistency in vertical spacing relative to the text size. For example, if the font size is 16 pixel, the 1EX is equal to the height of the lowercase x in that font size. The next unit is CH. The CH unit is relative to the width of the zero clip in the current font. This means that one CH is equal to the width of zero clip. The CH units provide consistency in layout alignment based on character width, making them ideal for creating layout based on character width, especially in text-heavy design. For example, if the font size is 16 pixels and the width of the zero clip is 10 pixels, the 1CH would be equal to 10 pixels. These units are particularly helpful when you want to ensure that your design scales appropriately with changes in the font size. Now let's see the grid and flex layout units. Here we use these units to create flexible grids and flexbox layouts. The first one is fractional unit. The fractional unit is denoted by FR, are like puzzle pieces that allows to distribute available space among grid or flex items. They simply layout calculations ensuring elements fill available space proportionally. While FR units are widely supported, the older browsers may have limited support. Additional CSS tools may be needed for complex layout. The limited browser support in older versions, although widely supported in modern browsers, may require additional CSS rules for fine-tuning layout behavior, especially in complex layout. The next unit is auto. It represents the automatic size of an element based on its content, making it convenient for allowing elements to size themselves. Ensure that elements take up the necessary space without a manual intervention, particularly useful for maintaining the flexibility in layout design. They're compatible with various layout scenarios, including grid and flexbox, and also may lead to unexpected layout behavior if not used carefully, especially in combination with other sizing method. As a disadvantage, there is another one, the limited control over element sizing, which may require additional CSS rules for layout adjustments. Now let's talk about the best practices for unit selection. When we select the unit, we need to consider the use case. Choose unit based on the specific requirements of your design. For example, use fiscals for precise control in fixed layout and percentages for responsive design. And second one is embrace relative units. In that case, we can prioritize the relative units like REMs and Viewport units for their adaptability across devices and screen sizes. The third one is optimize for scalability. Choose units for that. We can choose a unit that scale gracefully, such as Viewport units and font relative units, ensuring the consistency of user experience. And the fourth one is maintain consistency. Establish consistency in unit usage across your project to streamline development and maintenance. The consistent unit choices simplify code readability and ensure the cohesive design language. Last one is accessibility. For that, we can select font relative units to improve the readability and accessibility, empowering users to customize their experiences. Now let's talk about the performance optimization tips. In that case, we can minimize the absolute units. For that, we can reduce reliance on fixed units like pixels to improve the scalability and responsiveness. And the second point is optimize font size. For that, we can utilize relative units like EM and REM, consistent typography across devices. The third point is ensure compatibility. Provide fallbacks for units with limited browser support to maintain cross-browser consistency. Fourth one is streamline CSS files. Minify CSS files and eliminate redundant styles to enhance page load times. The fifth one is regular maintenance. We need to conduct regular audits to remove obsolete styles and optimize CSS code for improved performance. And here I attach some resources. You can follow these resources and get idea about more about the CSS units. Thank you.